I am the Thrifty Crocheter. I know it's late, and it is late for me. It's after 11 o'clock, and I'm wearing an old Indiana IU jersey over my PJs. Yes, I still have a mess back here that I'm still kind of dealing with. Um, but this Friday and Saturday, here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, Thrift Trail. And they're doing is participating thrift stores. I accidentally ripped it, but a participating thrift. I can't talk straight. At participating thrift stores, you go to the and you shop, and they stamp your passport. This is your passport, and you get 30% off of your total for each at each of these stores that you shop at. And then once you've filled in all your stamps, then I folded it up. You fill in your information and you turn your passport in for a drawing. So that is a pretty awesome idea. Now here where I live, they actually usually always do be a tourist in your own hometown, and it does have like a passport like thing like this that when you get you would stamp as you go to different places. But this time they're doing a thrift trail, and where you go to all the different thrift stores. And I just think that is just such an ingenious idea. Although most of them are the same store, just different locations of that same said store. Boy, I'm just getting all tongue tied today. Um, your support of our nonprofits creates change in our community. Food and hygiene and security, addiction care and food insecurity, affordable housing plus advocacy, job training plus staffing, hunger and economic relief, job training and staffing, food hygiene and insecurity, food plus hygiene and security for some of these different places. Like we've got Blue Jacket, we got Restore, Renew, the Franciscan Center Family Thrift, which has three stores. Blue Jacket technically has two, but one is a Blue Jacket clothing, and one is Blue Jacket is Renew. But this is a pretty awesome idea. Thrift trail. And it's this Friday and Saturday. I'm going this Saturday. 30% off here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Hello, 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 people. Thank you for subscribing to me. I greatly appreciate that. I need more subscribers. I need more watch hours. This Friday and Saturday here in Fort Wayne, they're doing a thrift trail where you go shopping at the participating stores, and you take this is your passport, and they stamp it, and then when you get them all stamped, you turn it in, and your name is put into a drawing. So that is a pretty awesome idea. Also, showed you guys this perpetual calendar. Now, before I came on, I did try this, but it was frustrating me. So I had to set it aside. This is a perpetual calendar, and for the month of August, they have they have several different motifs. Here was August 1st. I'll show you August thus far. A second. I like how the third is a triangle. I thought that was cute. 4, 5. That one's really pretty. 6, 7 is another triangle. 8, 9, 10, and today's the 11th. There's that one. I actually did make one of the motifs. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that really pretty? This one was a 6-inch square. Oh, this is just a little motif that I did that was on in this perpetual calendar. I bought from Michael's. You Michael's or was the bookstore? I can't remember now. It's been a few weeks. A year of crochet stitches, a stitch a day, perpetual calendar. So like it doesn't have like a day or a year. It just has a date. And then for each day, it has a different, either a motif or a stitch. Now, I'm not going to make these as tutorials yet, but maybe next year. But I do have tutorials for these. And I need to get started making and doing that again because we're almost, not quite halfway through, but we're almost halfway through. And we have made some of these before, and we've made a couple of the flowered ones. We're going to be making more of those. We're going to get started back on that because I just came back this month. I was gone for a couple months, then I came back. We will also still have devotions every day. I know I forgot on Sunday, but today I made sure to do it Sunday night. And then I did it again this morning. And like I said last night, if you didn't see yesterday's until today, then today you got 2 for it because you saw last night's today and you saw today's devotions. And then speaking of which, if you saw this morning's devotions, 2 of the devotions, because I read 3 different books, 2 of the books went almost together, but not at the same time. They talked about judging, but they did it in different lights. It was pretty cool. Also, one of my subscribers has a tendency whenever they read or whenever they hear my devotions, they like to leave scriptures, and I really applaud that. That is wonderful. If that ever happens to you, please do so. And I have to put them. I decided to put them in the notebook because I had so many written down that I put them on paper instead of all the little sheets of paper, the little notebook. So I put this in a notebook size paper, and I was already up to 2 pages full, and I had started a third. So I decided to put them in the notebook, but I need to give this notebook a name. So I had to figure out a name for these little devotional Bible scriptures, little Bible verses that she's sending me. And of course, after we get done with the devotions, then there's always I always read the prayer that goes with this little prayer square. I have also made. I also have in the sack here behind me. You can't see it. This pink bag back here on the floor. It has some prayer squares that I have already made, and I've also made just crosses. And I bought 3x5 notebooks or 3x5 cards, and I'm going to write little prayers to them and attach them to those crosses and to those prayer squares, and just kind of divvy them out to the city and to various places around the city. because I think people appreciate things like that. I know I did, and then I got this purse square from when I was out shopping, and I bought yarn, and this was mixed in with the yarn, and I just think this is really really cool and really really awesome. And so I always say this for when I get done with devotions, then I read the prayer that goes with this prayer square. Um, Also, trying to think. I had everything planned, and then my brain just kind of went blank for a second. Um, oh, working on a couple of blankets. One blanket I'm working on for my stepdaughter, and another blanket I'm working on for a coworker friend of mine. And they're made two different ways. I am also working on a project for Decade Divas. Um, Go watch the Spoonie Stitcher and Critters Crochet to learn all about what Decade Divas is. And because there's a lot of us that are in it, and that's coming up real shortly, like next month is when it starts. So, and my project I believe is due in October, so I gotta hurry up, finish it up, because it's crunch time. Um, Also, oh, I forgot to finish it. I forgot to finish a project. I had made one square, and I still got to make four more of these to make a bag, and then make the handle. Sew them together and make the handle. I keep forgetting to make the rest of these. I need to sit down and make the rest of these. This is actually a really pretty square. It came out of this kit that I got from Five and Below, and I'm using the yarn that came with it for another project. Because this was no way, the little bit of yarn that they give you was it able going to make a pouch, make this little pouch and sew to get everything together. No, there wasn't near enough yarn. So I'm using my own yarn um, to make it. And it uses triple crochets instead of doubles. It uses triples, and this is in American terms, not English, American. And it was still using triples. This is actually still pretty cool looking. Um, then I got this from the bookstore. And then I got this from one of the thrift stores. These are latch hook. I didn't know latch hook was even still around. I got this from the bookstore, and I was really surprised to see this. Now, this was a little expensive. Yeah, $13 for this little bitty donut. But it's a little donut keychain. And actually, I took it out of the bag. Or out of the box, rather. It's about this size. And at least it shows you where the eyes and the mouth are to put the pieces. But then you just kind of have to, on your own, decide where you want the different colored speckles. But the main color of the donut, see, like, when I look at the directions, you said you can put your speckles like where you want, but like the main color is the purple. And then they gave you plastic eyes and a plastic mouth to put in the space. And then you got to sew them together and put on the keychain. I mean, it'll be cute, but I'll probably give it to one of my step-grandchildren when I'm done. I haven't done latch hook since, oh gosh, I don't remember the last time I did latch hook. Maybe when I was a kid, but not like a kid. Maybe high school, maybe older. I don't know. It's been too many years since the last time I did latch hook. And this one, the approximate size when it's done is going to be 7 inches by 7 inches. What did I do with? Oh, here it is. 6, 7. So it's going to be, there we go, 7 inches by 7 inches. So it's not very big. And I haven't taken it out of there. And the only reason I got this is because my youngest daughter likes Pooh Bear. And I can't decide if I'm going to make this or if I'm going to give it to her, or if I'm going to make this then give it to her, or if I'm just going to just go ahead and give it to her. I can't decide. Um, a another thing that I think is fun, and I still like to do occasionally, are these. How many of you remember these from your childhood? Um, these are actually made of a terracotta material, and this is actually a metal one. Do have plastic ones, although the plastic ones I don't really like so much because these tend, this part, the teeth, tend to break off easy. I like them. I prefer the metal ones. And these, when they're done, they usually come out a lot bigger than these ones because these ones are more of the nylon material and they're so much smaller. I'm trying to see if I have. Nope, I don't. Nope, I don't. This one is a mixed match of nylon and the other ones, I think. Nope. Yep. And this one is like the nylon ones. I was hoping I had one made, and I don't. Oh well. But it's pretty easy to get the three sides done. Then you come up to the last side, and that's when they have a tendency to pop off, and then you gotta try to get everything without everything popping off, without all the sides popping off. That's always the trick, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating at first, but then once you get the hang of it, it's not so bad. But these are also fun, still fun for me to do. In fact, over my parents' house, there is a placemat that I made with like, I think it was like 9 of them. And then I crocheted a border around once I got them all sewn together because I crocheted the squares together. And then I made a border for it. So that's another fun little project. So I'm wondering. Oh, here's another fun thing to do. I have bought CDs. This one actually is, this one is a CD to make baskets. You crochet around the circle and then you build your basket on the sides. Something else that I've done before to make the basket bigger, like wider, bigger, I have bought records, old-fashioned records. I don't have them up here and not within reach. For those of you old enough to remember 45 records, 45 will get you the bigger base with a bigger hole, but then with a CD, because on a CD you have a much smaller, you have that much smaller hole, because on a 45 it's more like this clear area, whereas on the CD hole it's this little area right here. Let me see if I can do better. On a 45 record, this is kind of similar to that hole on a 45 record. Whereas this is the CD hole. And So to make the basket wider, you put the record on top. I put the CD on top of the record. That way you get the width of the record, but you get the hole from the CD. I think that's really smart. I once tried to do using a 33 record, but the pin but as some of you know, if you try to use a 33 record, that just isn't going to work because the hole on the 33 record is really, really tiny. um, so that didn't work. But what I am thinking, that if I take that 33 record and maybe drill a hole then through the center to make the hole bigger, then maybe that will work. But I'm also afraid that maybe the record would come apart, you know? Those of you who aren't enough to understand how a record works, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that one out. Um, but please be kind always. I have a be kind always. I always have this sitting up there in my window. But everybody should be kind to everybody. Be kind always. I hope all of you are doing well. Just to give you a little sneaky peeky into tomorrow for the 12th, there's a star. I don't know if I can make that one. Ooh. This one's got puffs and shells in it. Ooh. But anyway. So how are you folks doing? Like, comment, and subscribe. I said, if you're ever come up to the Fort Wayne area this weekend, it's this Friday and Saturday, Thrift Trail. I'm having trouble saying it. And where you go to the stores and they give you they give you 30% off of your total. Of course, you know, thrift stores already have low prices anyway, and then they give you another 30% off of your total. That's awesome. And you have to go to the participating stores. And as you go to the stores, they punch it off, and then you fill in the information, turn it in, and your name is put into a drawing. You can't win if you don't put your name in that drawing. I mean, you may not win anyway, but it's still fun to go shopping and to get 30% off of your total as you're shopping. You know, it's amazing. It's kind of neat, some of the things you find, whether it's yarn, or maybe you're looking for something for your house, or maybe you're looking for something for a costume for something. Because that same day, Saturday's going to be a huge day for me, because not only am I going to go shopping with my daughters, and I have one of my best friends from high school is coming into town. She lives out of state from me, and she's coming to town for the weekend and for a few days. And then that night here in Fort Wayne, they're having an 80s night concert in downtown Fort Wayne, And so we're going to that concert, and that's gonna be loads of fun. That's gonna be some crazy night, crazy 80s fun. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be great. Um, I'm looking forward to that. Um, like I said, I'm just kind of working on a couple of projects to help to help get rid of some my yarn stash. Although I have two blankets that I've been kind of I haven't worked on in a long time just because there's a lot of emotion behind them for the reasons that I was making them at the time, and I don't know that I could make them again. One of these days, if I get into the right head and heart space, then I can finish them. But that's gonna take a while. Some things you just kind of have to get into the right headspace for. I don't know if you can understand that. Like it's a heart thing. But yeah. I'm sorry. Words have just been failing me today. My tongue's been tied all day. I don't know why. I'm having trouble talking today, but I've been having trouble talking today. It's like everything's hit my tongue and makes me crazy when I can't talk straight. Mm. Something is just bugging me. The Lord is my strength. Psalm 118:14. Yes, He is. The Lord is definitely my strength. I probably found this in a thrift store, I'm guessing. Um, I don't know. But I hope all of you are doing well today and that you had a good Monday. And I hope tomorrow is a terrific Tuesday. Like today was, hopefully, you had a wonderful weekend, a marvelous Monday, and tomorrow will be a terrific Tuesday. Just a real quickie one tonight. Love y'all. Bye.